The Galactic Council chamber was in complete chaos. High Commissioner Zarnak's tentacle hit the crystal table with a loud bang, making the floating lights above shake. His purple skin turned darker with anger as he stared at the holographic display in the middle of the room. "What is this thing?" he demanded, pointing at the image of a simple white box with a door. The security chief stepped forward nervously. "It's called a microwave oven, Your Excellency. The humans say it cooks food using invisible waves." Ambassador Kretal from the Merchant Federation clicked his mandibles together in frustration. "Another one. That's the fourth new human invention. This solar cycle. How do they keep doing this?" Lisa Martin, the human representative, sat quietly at the far end of the oval table. She tried not to smile. She had seen this happen many times before, 27 times to be exact. Every time humans invented something new, the Galactic Council went into panic mode. "Perhaps we're overreacting," Lisa suggested calmly. "It's just a device to heat food faster. Many of your species use heat-based cooking methods." "Just a device?" Zarnak's voice rose an octave. "That's what you said about the television. And look what happened to our entertainment industry." The other council members murmured in agreement. Ambassador Thex from the Zorgon Empire stood up, his blue scales shimmering under the chamber lights. "The humans said the same thing about their light bulb invention. Now half our bioluminescent crystal mines are abandoned." Lisa sighed. She knew this would be a long meeting. The problem wasn't that human inventions were dangerous. The problem was that they were too useful. "Let me explain how it works," she offered, standing up. The council members watched her suspiciously as she walked to the display controls. "A microwave oven uses electromagnetic radiation to heat water molecules in food. It's really quite simple." "Simple?" the representative from Arcturus Prime squeaked. "Do you have any idea how many civilizations depend on traditional food preservation methods? This could destroy entire economic sectors." The security chief brought up more data on the screen. "Our analysis shows that this device can heat food 20 times faster than conventional methods. It uses minimal energy and requires no special training to operate." The room erupted into worried chatter. Lisa noticed several ambassadors frantically messaging their homeworlds. She had seen this before too. First came panic, then emergency meetings, then attempts to ban the technology, and finally, grudging acceptance when they realized humans wouldn't stop using it. High Commissioner Zarnak called for order. "We must act quickly. What's the current distribution of this technology on Earth?" "Approximately 80% of human households own one," the security chief reported. "They're mass-producing them at an alarming rate." Lisa watched as several council members looked like they might faint. Ambassador Kretal was the first to recover. "We need to contain this before it spreads beyond their solar system." "With respect," Lisa interrupted, "containment isn't really an option anymore. Several Earth companies are already planning to export them to our trading partners." This news caused another wave of panic. The representative from the banking guild stood up. "This is exactly what happened with the credit card. They said it was just a convenient payment method, and now our entire currency exchange system is obsolete." Lisa remembered that particular crisis. Humans had introduced plastic cards that could transfer money electronically, and within a decade, several galactic banking institutions had collapsed. "We need to understand the pattern," High Commissioner Zarnak said, trying to restore some calm. "Computer, display the timeline of human technological introductions in the past century." The holographic display changed to show a long list. Lisa watched as the council members read through it with growing horror. The telephone destroyed the Psychic Communication Guild. The airplane bankrupted atmospheric transport regulators. The refrigerator made ice mining planets worthless. The computer disrupted the calculation priest order. The automobile ended the beast of burden industry on 7 worlds. And now this microwave thing, Ambassador Thex muttered. "It never ends with them." Lisa felt a bit guilty. Humans didn't mean to cause such disruption. They just liked making things easier and more efficient. It wasn't their fault that other species had built entire economies around doing things the hard way. "May I ask a question?" she said. Why does every human invention cause such concern? We're just trying to improve our daily lives. The council chamber fell silent. Finally, High Commissioner Zarnak spoke. You don't understand, Ambassador. Martin, your species has a unique talent for making the complex simple and the expensive cheap. Every time you invent something, you make a dozen of our industries obsolete. But isn't progress good? Lisa asked. Not when it happens this fast. Kretal exclaimed. Most species take centuries to develop new technology. You humans do it every few years. Our economies can't adapt quickly enough. Lisa nodded in understanding. She had always known humans moved faster than other species, but she hadn't realized how much stress it caused. The security chief stepped forward again. Your Excellency, there's more. Our intelligence suggests humans are working on several other projects that could be even more disruptive. Such as? Zarnak asked wearily. Something called a personal computer that could replace our entire data management system. And they're experimenting with genetic engineering that might make our medical treatments obsolete. The council members looked defeated. Lisa felt sorry for them, but she also felt proud. Humans were natural problem solvers. They saw inefficiency and fixed it. They found difficulty and made it easy. We need to go into closed session, High Commissioner Zarnak announced. Ambassador Martin, we'll reconvene tomorrow. As Lisa left the chamber, she heard the heavy security doors seal behind her. She knew what was happening in there. They were trying to figure out how to stop human innovation. They had tried before and failed every time. She pulled out her communication device and called her assistant. Hey Mike, how's the new project coming along? Great. We've just finished the prototype for the 3D printer. It can create almost any object from raw materials. Lisa smiled. The Galactic Council was in for another surprise very soon. Deep underground in the restricted archives of the Galactic Council, junior analyst John Walker was having the most exciting day of his career. He had been assigned to research human technological patterns for the Emergency Committee, and what he found was both fascinating and terrifying. The vault stretched for miles, filled with floating data crystals that held information about every species in the galaxy. John moved past the sections on Zorgonian warfare and Arcturian philosophy until he reached the human files. They were the largest collection in the entire archive. Computer, show me all instances of human technology disrupting galactic markets. In the past century, John commanded. The air filled with holographic displays. Each one showed a different human invention and its effects. John started reading through them, his eyes growing wider with each entry. The vacuum cleaner had seemed harmless enough when humans introduced it. A simple machine that sucked up dirt. Within 5 years, it had destroyed the careers of 3 million professional cleaners across the galaxy. The Sanitation Guild had never recovered. The light bulb came next. Humans had figured out how to trap lightning in a glass ball. When they started mass-producing them, 17 planets that grew bioluminescent fungi went bankrupt. Their entire economies had been based on natural lighting. John scrolled through more examples. The zipper had ended the button-making industry. On 12 worlds. The airplane had broken the carefully controlled atmospheric transport system. The telephone had made messenger birds extinct on 4 planets. A pattern emerged as John studied the data. Humans didn't invent things to cause harm. They just saw problems and fixed them. If something was slow, they made it faster. If something was expensive, they made it cheaper. If something was complicated, they made it simple. John gathered his findings and rushed to his supervisor's office. Commander Valora was waiting for him, her green antennae twitching with impatience. What did you find? She asked. It's worse than we thought, John replied, spreading out his data tablets on her desk. Every human invention follows the same pattern. They identify something that doesn't work well, then they fix it. But their solutions are always better, faster and cheaper than anything we have. Commander Valora studied the data. That's not unusual. Many species improve technology. Not like this, John insisted. Look at the timeline. Most species take centuries to perfect one technology. Humans take years, sometimes months, and they don't just improve things, they make them so efficient, that our existing systems can't compete. Show me an example, Valora said. John pulled up the file on the refrigerator. When humans invented mechanical cooling, they put it in a box in their homes. Simple, right? But it destroyed our entire ice transport industry. 50 cargo ships had to stop service. 200 ice mining operations closed, all because humans wanted cold drinks without going outside. Valora's antennae drooped. And the microwave oven will do the same thing? Worse, John said. Our analysis shows it could affect 17 different industries: food preservation, cooking fuel production, time management services, the list goes on. At that moment, Ambassador Lisa Martin was having a similar conversation with her team at the Earth Embassy. Her assistant Mike had gathered all their scientists and engineers for an emergency meeting. We need to understand why our inventions cause such problems, Lisa explained. Every time we announce something new, the council goes into panic mode. Sarah, the head of technological assessment, raised her hand. I think I know why. We approach problems differently than other species. Explain, Lisa said. Most alien civilizations perfect one solution and stick with it for thousands of years. They build entire economies around those solutions. We, on the other hand, never stop looking for better ways. Another scientist, Tom, nodded in agreement. It's in our nature. If something takes an hour, we want to do it in 30 minutes. If it costs $10, we want to make it for $5. We can't help ourselves. Lisa sighed. So what do we do? Stop inventing? That's impossible, Mike said. Right now, there are millions of humans working on new ideas. We couldn't stop them even if we wanted to. Back in the council archives, John had finished his report. He transmitted it to the emergency committee and waited for their response. It came within minutes. Report to the council chamber immediately, the message read. Bring all your findings. John entered the chamber, to find it packed with representatives from every major civilization. High Commissioner Zarnak beckoned him forward. Analyst Walker, present your findings, Zarnak ordered. John took a deep breath and activated his presentation. Honored council members, I've discovered why human inventions keep disrupting our economies. He explained his research, showing how humans approach technology differently. They didn't just improve things, they reimagined them entirely. Where other species saw limits, humans saw opportunities. The pattern is clear, John concluded. Humans will never stop inventing. It's part of their psychology. They see a problem, and they must solve it, regardless of the consequences. Ambassador, Creedle spoke up. Then we must isolate them, cut off all technological exchange until we can adapt. That won't work, John replied. Human technology spreads too quickly. They share ideas freely, post them on something called the Internet, and encourage others to improve upon them. The council erupted into worried discussion. Some called for sanctions, others for quarantine. But John had one more piece of information to share. There's something else, he said, raising his voice above the noise. I found evidence that humans are already working on 3 major breakthroughs that could change everything. The chamber fell silent. First, they're developing something called artificial intelligence, machines that can think for themselves. Second, they're close to cracking faster-than-light communication. And third, John paused for effect. They're experimenting with genetic modification that could make disease obsolete. High Commissioner Zarnak slumped in his chair. How long do we have? Based on their usual development speed, John calculated quickly. 6 months, maybe less. The council members looked at each other in despair. They had barely recovered from the last wave of human innovations. Now they faced another tsunami of change. We need to go into closed session, Zarnak announced. This time we must find a permanent solution to the human problem. As the chamber cleared, John watched the representatives file out. He knew what they were thinking. They wanted to stop human progress. But deep down, he wondered if maybe, just maybe the rest of the galaxy needed to learn how to keep up with humanity instead. The heavy doors of the council chamber closed with a deep thud. For the first time in 50 years, no human representative was present. The air felt thick with tension as High Commissioner Zarnak called the secret meeting to order. "We face an unprecedented crisis," Zarnak began, his voice heavy with concern. "The human tendency to innovate threatens the stability of our entire galactic economy." Ambassador Thex of the Merchant League stood up. His blue scales reflected the dim lighting as he addressed the assembly. "I've prepared a detailed report on the economic damage caused by human inventions over the past century." The holographic display lit up with charts and graphs. The numbers were staggering. Trillions of galactic credits lost, millions of jobs eliminated, entire industries wiped out. "Look at what happened with the washing machine." Thex pointed to a steep, downward line on the graph. "The Laundry Guild employed over 10 million beings across the galaxy. Now they're down to less than 100,000. The representative from the Banking Guild raised a claw. "The credit card was worse. We had complex systems for currency, exchange and wealth transfer. Humans replaced it all with a piece of plastic. And don't forget the bicycle," added the transport minister from Rigel 7. "Our beast rental services collapsed overnight when humans started pedaling around on 2 wheels." High Commissioner Zarnak listened to each complaint with growing frustration. Every species had a story about how human technology had disrupted their way of life. "We need solutions, not complaints," he finally interrupted. "What can we do to stop this?" Ambassador Kretal stood up. His mandibles clicked thoughtfully before he spoke. "I propose we quarantine Earth's technology sector. No more patents registered in galactic systems. No more exports beyond their solar system." The suggestion sparked immediate debate. Some supported the idea while others pointed out the flaws. "That won't work," said the science minister from Betelgeuse. "Humans share information too freely. They have this thing called open source, where they give away their inventions for free. Then we'll block their communications," Kretal insisted. "And how do you propose we do that?" asked the communications director. "They're about to develop faster than light messaging. They'll bypass any blocks we put in place." Meanwhile, in a small cafe near the Earth Embassy, Lisa Martin met secretly with John Walker. He had contacted her through back channels after the closed session began. "You're taking a big risk meeting me," Lisa said, sipping her coffee. John nodded nervously. "I know, but I had to warn you, the Council is planning something drastic." "Like what?" "They're considering a complete technological quarantine of Earth. Some are even suggesting more extreme measures." Lisa set down her cup. "They can't be serious. That would violate a dozen treaties." "They're desperate," John explained. "They don't understand that human innovation isn't a threat. It's an opportunity." Back in the council chamber, the debate had grown heated. Ambassador Thex presented his most radical proposal yet. "We must regulate human research and development," he declared. "Create a galactic oversight committee to approve or deny new inventions before they can be implemented." The idea received mixed reactions. Some saw it as the only solution, while others recognized the impossibility of controlling human creativity. "Have you ever tried to stop a human from solving a problem?" asked the education minister from Andromeda. "I once told a human student that anti-gravity was impossible. She built a working prototype in her dormitory room over the weekend." High Commissioner Zarnak called for order as the arguing continued. He knew they were missing something important. "Perhaps we're approaching this wrong," he said quietly. The room fell silent. "We keep trying to stop human progress instead of adapting to it." "What are you suggesting?" Kretal asked suspiciously. "Think about it. Every time humans invent something, they make it available to everyone. They don't hoard technology. They share it. Maybe we should learn to innovate like they do instead of protecting our outdated systems." The suggestion was met with shocked silence. For millennia, the galactic civilizations had valued stability over progress. The idea of embracing rapid change was almost heretical. Ambassador Thex was the first to object. "You're suggesting we abandon our traditional ways, our entire economic structure?" "No," Zarnak replied. "I'm suggesting we evolve. The humans have shown us a new path. Instead of fearing their inventions, we should learn from them." At that moment, Lisa Martin was receiving an urgent message from Earth. She read it with growing Amazement. "John," she said, "you need to get this information to the council immediately." "What is it?" "Human scientists just made a breakthrough. They've developed a universal translator that works with any known language in the galaxy, and they're releasing the plans for free." John's eyes widened. That would make the Translation Guild obsolete. "Exactly. And there's more. They've also finished the prototype for a matter replicator. It can create food and basic supplies from raw energy. That would end hunger across the galaxy," John whispered. Lisa nodded. "The council needs to understand. Humans don't invent to destroy. We invent to solve problems. Sometimes that means old systems have to change, but the benefits far outweigh the costs." John stood up quickly. "I have to go. If I can get this information to Zarnak, it might change everything." He rushed back to the council building using his security clearance to bypass the guards. The closed session was still in progress, but John didn't care about protocol anymore. He burst into the chamber. "High Commissioner," he shouted. "I have urgent news from Earth." Zarnak looked annoyed at the interruption, but something in John's expression made him pause. "Speak." John quickly explained about the universal translator and matter replicator. As he talked, he watched the faces of the council members change from anger to confusion to wonder. "They're giving these technologies away?" Thex asked in disbelief. "Yes," John confirmed. "Ambassador Martin says they want to share them with the entire galaxy." High Commissioner Zarnak stood slowly. "Perhaps I was right. We've been looking at this all wrong. Humans don't innovate to harm us. They innovate to help everyone." The mood in the chamber shifted. For the first time, some council members began to see human innovation not as a threat, but as an opportunity for the entire galaxy to advance. "But what about our economies?" Kretal protested weakly. "They'll adapt," Zarnak replied. "Just as humans adapt. It's time we learned to embrace change instead of fearing it." As the council members absorbed this new perspective, John felt hopeful for the first time. Maybe, just maybe, the galaxy was ready to join humanity on its journey of endless innovation. News of the quarantine attempt spread across Earth like wildfire. Social media exploded with reactions from angry citizens, excited inventors, and concerned diplomats. Lisa Martin sat in her office watching the chaos unfold on multiple screens. "Ambassador, Line 3 is the president," her assistant Amy announced. "Line 4 is the head of NASA, and Line 5 is someone named Kyle Baker, who says he's about to announce something big." Lisa rubbed her temples. "Put the president through first." The conversation was brief, but clear. Earth would not accept any restrictions on its technological development. If the Galactic Council tried to implement a quarantine, humanity would respond with a wave of new inventions. After hanging up, Lisa turned to Amy. "Get me Kyle Baker. I have a feeling I need to know what he's planning." Kyle Baker was a 28-year-old tech entrepreneur who had already revolutionized 3 industries. When his face appeared on the screen, he was grinning like a child. "With a secret. Ambassador Martin, perfect timing. We're about to demonstrate our quantum computer prototype." Lisa felt her stomach drop. "Quantum computer? As in the thing that could break every encryption system in the galaxy?" "Exactly. Isn't it exciting? We're also working on anti-gravity plating, cold fusion reactors, and this amazing thing called the Internet that's going to change everything." "Kyle, wait," Lisa tried to interrupt. "The council is already in emergency session about the microwave. Maybe we should slow down." "Slow down?" Kyle laughed. "Ambassador, with all due respect, that's not how humanity works. Besides, have you seen what's trending on social media?" Lisa switched screens and gasped. The hashtag #InnovateForEarth was everywhere. Millions of humans were sharing their latest inventions, from simple gadgets to complex technological breakthroughs. Garages, basements, and laboratories across the planet, humans were responding to the quarantine threat in the most human way possible, by inventing more things. A teenager in Ohio had created a device that could clean water using sound waves. A retired teacher in Japan had developed a new type of solar panel that worked at night. A group of college students in Brazil had figured out how to grow food in zero gravity. This is what happens when you try to limit human creativity, Kyle explained. We push back, hard. At the Galactic Council headquarters, panic was setting in. Reports flooded in from Earth monitoring stations. The humans weren't just continuing to invent, they were accelerating. High Commissioner Zarnak called another emergency session. This time the mood was different. Fear had given way to a kind of resigned acceptance. They're doing it on purpose, Ambassador Kretal reported glumly. Our threat of quarantine has triggered what humans call a hackathon. Millions of them are competing to create the most disruptive technology. The holographic display showed a real-time feed of new patent applications from Earth. The numbers were climbing so fast they blurred. Look at this one, the science minister pointed. A device that turns thoughts into text, and this one, a machine that can predict weather with perfect accuracy. Oh, and here's something called blockchain, that they claim will revolutionize financial systems. Zarnak slumped in his chair. How many industries will these affect? All of them, came the dejected reply. Lisa Martin chose that moment to request permission to address the council. She entered the chamber with a calm smile, carrying a small device. Honored council members, she began. I understand your concerns about human innovation, but I'd like to show you something. She placed the device on the table. It projected a hologram of Earth, surrounded by connecting lines to other planets. This is a map of how human technology has spread across the galaxy in the past century. Yes, some industries have been disrupted, but look at the overall effect. The display changed to show statistics. Average lifespan had increased on every planet that adopted human medical technology. Hunger had decreased wherever human agricultural methods were used. Education levels had risen with the spread of human teaching tools. We don't invent to destroy, Lisa continued. We invent to improve. Every human child grows up hearing the same question. How can we make this better? It's not arrogance or malice. It's hope. The council members listened in silence as Lisa explained the human perspective. She talked about curiosity, about the drive to solve problems, about the joy of discovery. Right now, she concluded, millions of humans are inventing new things, not to hurt you, but to help everyone. The question is, will you join us in building a better future, or will you keep trying to preserve a past that's already gone? High Commissioner Zarnak stood slowly. Ambassador Martin, you've given us much to consider. But the fact remains that your people's innovations cause chaos in our ordered systems. Then maybe it's time for new systems, Lisa suggested, ones that can adapt and grow. Before anyone could respond, John Walker burst into the chamber again. High Commissioner, you need to see this. He activated the main display, showing a live feed from Earth. Kyle Baker stood at a podium, addressing a global audience. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow humans and our galactic neighbors, Kyle announced. Today we unveil the Galactic Collaboration Platform. It's a system that allows any species to contribute to and benefit from technological advancement. No patents, no restrictions, just shared progress for everyone. The council watched in stunned silence as Kyle demonstrated the platform. It was elegant, simple, and completely revolutionary. Any civilization could submit problems and humans would help solve them. Any technology developed would be freely available to all. This is our response to the proposed quarantine, Kyle continued. We choose openness over isolation, collaboration over competition, progress over stagnation. Ambassador Thex turned to Lisa. Your people created this in response to our quarantine threat? Lisa nodded. We had 3 days. Imagine what we could do if we worked together for 3 years. The implications sank in slowly. Humans weren't just unstoppable innovators. They were willing to share everything they created. The choice facing the council was clear. Adapt and thrive or resist and become obsolete. High Commissioner Zarnak made his decision. Computer, end the quarantine proposal. Begin drafting a new resolution for galactic technological cooperation. As the council members murmured their agreement, Lisa smiled. The crisis was over, but she knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had finally shown the galaxy that innovation wasn't something to fear. It was something to embrace. Back on Earth, Kyle Baker was already planning his next announcement. "Hey team," he called to his staff. "How quickly can we finish the faster-than-light communication system? I think our new galactic partners are going to need it." The age of shared innovation had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The emergency session lasted 48 hours straight. Every time the council tried to address one human invention, 3 more appeared on their screens. Species after species reported new breakthroughs coming from Earth. The humans were not slowing down. High Commissioner Zarnak finally raised his tentacles in surrender. "Enough! We cannot fight this tide any longer." The chamber fell silent as the reality sank in. For the first time in galactic history, the Council had to admit defeat. Not to an enemy army or a natural disaster, but to human creativity. "We hereby establish the Human Innovation Response Committee," Zarnak announced formally. "All Earth technological developments will be reviewed and adapted to, rather than resisted." Ambassador Kretal clicked his mandibles in frustration. "So we just give up? Let them destroy our economies?" "No," Zarnak replied. "We learn. We grow. We change." Lisa Martin had been waiting outside the chamber for 2 days. When the doors finally opened, she saw exhausted but somehow hopeful faces. Zarnak beckoned her forward. "Ambassador Martin, the Council has reached a decision." Lisa braced herself for the worst, but Zarnak's next words surprised her. "We will embrace human innovation. More than that, we ask for your help in preparing our civilizations for the changes to come." Lisa felt tears forming in her eyes. This was what humanity had always wanted. Not to dominate, but to share and grow together. "High Commissioner, humanity accepts your offer with joy," she replied. "We never meant to disrupt your societies. We just like making things better." "We understand that now," Zarnak said. "Perhaps it's time we learned to do the same." Lisa addressed the full chamber. "Humanity offers a simple proposal. Instead of fighting each new invention, why not participate in creating them? We have problems that need solving, and you have perspectives we lack. Together, we could achieve wonders." The council members looked at each other. Slowly, heads nodded, and tentacles waved in agreement. Ambassador Thek spoke up. "The Merchant League will contribute our distribution networks to spread beneficial technologies faster. The Science Ministry offers our research facilities," added the Betelgeuse representative. One by one, each civilization pledged support. It was the beginning of a new era. As Lisa left the chamber, her communicator buzzed. It was Amy from her office. "Ambassador, you're getting a call from someone named Danny in Research and Development. He says it's important." Lisa sighed and smiled. Of course there was another invention. "Put him through, Amy." Danny's excited face appeared on her screen. "Ambassador Martin, we did it. We cracked faster-than-light communication." Lisa glanced back at the council chamber. Through the open doors she could see the exhausted delegates still discussing their new cooperation agreement. "Danny, this is amazing news, but maybe we should wait a week before announcing it. The council just agreed to work with us and they need time to adjust." Danny looked confused for a moment, then grinned. "Oh, I get it. Give them a chance to catch their breath?" "Exactly." "Sure thing, Ambassador. But just so you know, the team is already working on something even bigger. We call it the Universal Problem Solver. It's an AI that can—" "Danny," Lisa interrupted gently. "One miracle at a time, okay?" 5 years later, the galaxy had transformed, beyond recognition. The Human Innovation Response Committee had evolved into the Galactic Progress Alliance, with representatives from every known civilization. Former junior analyst John Walker, now Director of Technological Integration, stood before a crowd of delegates from across the galaxy. Behind him, a massive holographic display showed the achievements of the past 5 years. "When we first started this journey," John began, "many of us feared human innovation. We saw it as a threat to our way of life. But look what we've accomplished together." The display showed images of drought-resistant crops growing on desert planets, medical nanobots curing previously incurable diseases, and clean energy systems powering entire star systems. Humans taught us that change doesn't have to be feared. It can be embraced, guided, and used to benefit everyone. In the audience, Lisa Martin sat next to High Commissioner Zarnak. They had become unlikely friends over the years, working together to smooth the transition to a more innovative galaxy. "You know," Zarnak whispered to her, "I sometimes wonder what would have happened if we had succeeded in quarantining Earth." Lisa smiled. "You would have delayed the inevitable. Humans don't stop inventing just because someone tells them to." "I've learned that," Zarnak chuckled. Rather painfully, I might add. On stage, John was concluding his presentation. "Today we announce the latest breakthrough from the Galactic Progress Alliance, a technology that will allow us to explore beyond our galaxy, to seek out new civilizations and share our knowledge with them." The crowd erupted in applause. Species that had once feared human innovation now celebrated it. After the ceremony, Lisa received a message from Earth. It was from a high school student named Alex. "Dear Ambassador Martin," the message read, "I'm working on a science project in my garage. I think I've figured out how to fold space-time. Should I submit this to the Galactic Progress Alliance, or is it too soon?" Lisa laughed out loud. Some things never changed. Somewhere on Earth, in a garage or a basement, a human was tinkering with the fundamental laws of the universe. She typed her reply. "Dear Alex, please submit your project through proper channels, and maybe warn the physics department first. They're still recovering from the last breakthrough." As the sun set on the Galactic Council headquarters, Lisa reflected on the journey. Humanity hadn't set out to change the galaxy. They had simply done what humans always do, looked at the universe and asked, "How can we make this better?" And in asking that question, they had taught an entire galaxy to do the same. The next morning, as predicted, the Galactic Council found itself behind closed doors again. But this time, they weren't trying to stop human innovation. They were trying to keep up with it. High Commissioner Zarnak opened the session with words that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago. "Fellow delegates, we have received another breakthrough from Earth. Who wants to help implement it?" Every hand, tentacle, and appendage in the room shot up. The age of fear was over. The age of shared progress had begun, and somewhere on Earth, another human was looking at a problem and thinking, "I bet I can fix that."